Hi, hello, and welcome to Fate Grand Order. In order to avoid burning myself on Elden Ring, I'm going to be splitting that game a bit like I did back when I was playing Sekiro, and as a result, I'm going to be playing a bit of the latest story that has come up. Interstellar Mountainous City, Olympus. Alright, first of all, is the game itself going to give a recap, or am I going to need to do that? People have always turned their gaze skyward. In ancient times, they saw the gods dwelling in the heavens. For many long years, the sky was a sacred domain that remained ever beyond reach. But then, at one point, proper human history, began to see the untold possibility in vast space beyond the sky. For anyone who doesn't play this game very much, doesn't play this game, or is just watching me for whatever reason, the general story at this point in the game's timeline is that uh, you know, the split timeline theory works. Basically, the universe for the Fate world cannot sustain all possible timelines, so it prunes ones that have reached a stagnation in order to create proper timelines, proper human history, rather. And the Lost Belts are ones that have been returned by the power of an alien deity. Yeah, and our goal is to stop them, obviously, so that they don't replace our timeline with theirs. During the first half of Lost Belt 5, we fought our way to get to Olympus, and now we're finally there. From there on, it was no longer a mystery to be feared, but a riddle to be solved. That's right, we'll use every tool we can, our minds especially, to discover what makes you tick. We will never stop again, and not until we've claimed the heavens for ourselves. We'll turn our gaze skyward, and one day, we'll bring down the gods themselves. I'm not sure who's saying that at this point. Alright, here we go. Beyond the Great Pit. After defeating Poseidon and clearing out Atlantis, we've found that Olympus isn't actually high in the sky, but deep beneath the waves, ocean waves, hidden from the rest of the world, beyond the Great Pit. An impossibly enormous structure floats on the other side of a vast ocean, the texture that covers the planet's surface. Well, it can only be so big since the ocean is only so big, but still pretty huge. As seen from the main monitor of the storm border, that being the ship that we're in right now. You can see it. Yeah, right there. The structure appears to be a place inhabited by thousands, if not millions, of people. And we did meet a few people from this previously deleted timeline, Atlantis, but they were apparently outcasts, exiles, who basically saw no value in their existence, I guess. They felt because they had been abandoned. But here, the gods still have their role. Is that a city? Senpai, look up in the sky. Atop the sprawling city is another enormous structure. And above that is another enormous structure still. And above that, yet another enormous structure. Actually, above that, great mountains of translucent crystal loom even higher. And there beyond the crystalline peaks lies the very thing we've been searching for. The roots of the cosmic fantasy tree stretching out of space. The thing that's been reviving all of these lost timelines. The tree is of fantasy, which will supposedly bring forth the alien deity that brought them all back in the first place. That's the Tree of Emptiness. That's the Tree of Emptiness we saw from Atlantis. In previous Lost Belt story chapters, we faced these fantasy trees before, but this one is at full power. It's no mere sapling. Yeah, it's basically a mighty oak in comparison. Oh, but that's not the only thing that surprised me. I never would have dreamed there'd be such a massive hollow space beneath that great pit. It doesn't look subterranean either, more like an entirely different world. This is the true surface of the Earth. While it would no doubt appear to be the bowels of the Earth from up on Atlantis, it is in fact the true face of this Atlantic Lost Belt. Atlantis itself is a mere camouflage. In proper human To use Greek mythology, the Age of Man was ushered in through two great wars known as the Machi. But what's going on in this Lostbelt? How was it able to control this space to such a degree? How was it able to advance this far? It appears to operate in the same manner as the Chinese Lostbelt in that it fully embraces its Tree of Emptiness, but the manner in which it does is wholly opposite to China's Lostbelt. While the Chinese Lostbelt hid its Tree of Emptiness completely, here it's been allowed to flourish to the greatest possible extent. At least that's what it looks like. That part by the base must be the city. Yeah, it looks like it's out of a science fiction novel. It's easily as impressive as the pictures of proper human history skyscrapers which Sion showed me. Is it Sion or Sion? Can't tell the exact dimension of the city just from looking at it, but it's safe to say there's at least 10 million people living here, minimum. 10 million people? So this is where our attack on the Atlantic Lostbelt truly begins. Indeed, it would seem we truly have our work cut out for us. That, of course, is true here, as in the fifth of the seven hills, as it ever was. And as Da Vinci said before, we cannot blind ourselves to the cost of our actions, not for a moment. That being said, how one reacts to such a cost depends highly on the individual. And I, for one, am delighted by how you have all held your humanity in face of such adversity. Computer room here, sorry to interrupt, but I just finished scanning our vicinity. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't play, basically, in order to defeat these Lost Belts means to return the timeline to normal, which by extension means that these previously deleted timelines will be deleted again, including everyone within them. Past, present, future, all gone. Unfortunate, but if we don't, the proper human history gets deleted and instead replaced with this one, so it's 6 of one or half dozen of the other. There's going to be a major loss no matter what. And like I expected, the atmosphere is just chock full of magical energy. So this is the age of the gods. The magical energy density's highest density is at least on par with our records of the 7th singularity that took place in Babylonia, if not even higher. Are you serious? But the 7th singularity was in Mesopotamia during proper human history's age of the gods. And you're telling me this place exceeds its magic and density? Ah, something just forced its way to our comms line. It's not from the Wandering Sea, and this is... Hey, look up ahead, the signal's coming from that colossal structure. Oh crap, are we gonna get the foghorns? Yes. Praise us. Will you gaze upon mighty Olympus? The name of this lost belt I rule, given in honor of our great ark that has crossed the ocean of space. Now, prostrate yourselves and weep before me, for this grand throne of the gods is not meant for the eyes of such insignificant specks as you. What's going on? His voice is so heavy. The pressure is immense, and he's not even here in person. It's almost as powerful as a spell designed to attack the mind. Da Vinci quick raise the bounded field's output before something happens to any of the humans here. Got it. Now then. Between this immense pressure and this manner of speech, it looks like they're rolling out the biggest of the big guns. If I'm not mistaken, this must be... My name is Zeus. Crap, it's the Untitled Goose himself. Zeus, the king of the gods. I rule over this ancient ocean. I rule this grand interstellar city. I rule over all. I am the king at the Atlantic Lostbelt. Zeus? I was going to say one of the 12 Olympians, but no matter. This is, unfortunately, the very worst of the possible scenarios are predicted, of all the gods to come out and greet us. So that's the Zeus of this Lost Belt, this timeline. I don't have a good idea of this thanks to the Poseidon we saw in Atlantis, but indeed, this king of the gods may be very different from the one in proper human history, but deep down they're fundamentally the same. They cause problems on purpose. The supreme being of Greek mythology, the winner of both Machina Wars, the one who rules over the 12 Olympians. He also defeated the Titans. Not merely a divine spirit, but a genuine god who once existed right here on Earth. His deep ties to both the concrete and abstract planes mean that he is one of the phenomena shaping the very world itself. Put it another way, the king of gods in myth is, in the very real sense, the closest thing there is to a ruler of an entire planet. Then does that mean he's like Skadi in the Scandinavian Lostbelt, or Arjuna in the Indian Lostbelt? Unfortunately, no. The combat data we collected from Artemis and Poseidon alone speaks volumes. We were able to weaken Arjuna's deliberately by attacking the faith he had engendered in the population there, but we won't be able to do the same with these. Their existence is fundamentally different, so they're not faith gods powered by the belief in them. Their godly functionality is a core part to their being. Just look at the Theos Kleronomia if you need proof. Their functionality is what makes them gods. Nothing can be done to alter that, and Zeus is the one who stands above all the others. So what are you two trying to say? That Zeus is more powerful than any of the foe to date? That can't possibly be true. Don't you remember how tough Arjuna was? I mean, he was a monster who absorbed every deity in India. How could there be anything entire orders of magnitude more powerful than him even exist? If, like Artemis and Poseidon, Zeus has continuously ruled over the planet since ancient times without changing his very nature, then he is without a doubt in a league of his own. For you see, the ancient dramatist Asclepius once described Zeus as the omnipotent and omniscient god of justice. Although, if he was truly omnipotent and omniscient, he sure made a lot of mistakes. But then again, people ascribe omnipotence to a lot of things that are just really strong, so who knows. As in all-powerful. Oh, come now, how can he possibly be omnipotent? Zeus is strong, yes, but he's known for being sneaky and lecherous. He just take any old animal or person he'd come across them and toss them up in the sky as constellations. And he'd sleep with basically anything that moves. He also wields thunderbolts said to be capable of incinerating universes. Oh, is that true, Captain? Come on, give it to us straight. You're a half-god on Poseidon's side, right? What are the Olympic gods exactly? Are they just like the myths say, or are they something entirely different? Because Zeus really does have the authority to destroy the universe. I don't know, okay? I can't say that my father wasn't a machine. But if this Lostbelt developed an entirely different timeline than the one we know, it wouldn't surprise me if Zeus turned out to be a machine god just like Poseidon was. Yeah, Poseidon was basically a giant submarine, and Artemis was a space station, which means Zeus is likely one as well. If these gods are the embodiment of this planet's concrete and abstract and possess the same abilities, properties, and authorities described in the mythology, and if on top of that they also possess powerful mechanical bodies, I suppose maybe those machines were always their true bodies, even in proper human history? And if that's the case, so that would mean this Lostbelt is... Captain? Right. Anyway, if he's omnipotent, as he seems to be, he's the strongest being in Olympus, to be sure, so it's safe to assume he has authority powerful and all-encompassing enough to merit leading the other 12 Olympians. I don't know exactly what he's like here, but in the Age of Gods I know he was definitely the top dog. So if at all possible, I'd really rather not face him head-on. Exactly, he's not someone we want to go head-to-head with. It'd be one thing if there's a way to snuff out all of his demiurge-class divinity like we did in Scandinavia and India, but when it's an honest-to-goodness genuine deity we're talking about, that's just not going to work. I think... This is the main thing that a lot of people like about this particular storyline, that the Greek gods are all basically giant robots. I think that might... I don't know if that's based off something of original mythology, like, I don't know, did Zagreus and Hades mention that they were supposedly made out of living metal instead of living flesh or something? I genuinely have no idea. But yeah, if it is, then cool. If not, well, still cool. Either way, it looks like our little submarine's having a bit of trouble. What was that? Was that some kind of turbulence? I'm not sure if you can have turbulence underwater. No, fall. Insignificant ones. Hey, Garuda in Final Fantasy said that, and we all know what happened to her. All hands, brace for impact. Lightning underwater seems like it... Oh wait, no, I played Sekiro, that could be a problem. Thunderbolts, no, those are great thunderbolts. These magical energy levels are bonkers. Every single bolt is ginormous. Wait, you're kidding me? They're all strong as Artemis' cannon? Oh, come the hell on. I've heard of power creep, but this is nuts. That's, I have no idea how this name is pronounced, I'm gonna be honest. Do what you must to make sure those things don't hit us. We only just got this new ship. Wait, Checking hull readings. I was right, they're all missing us, but how? Looks like our emergency scattering worked, Da Vinci. Hell yeah, it did. Well, be excellent work, Captain. Technical advisor, you're both far more useful than Aquapasa there. So what was that gizmo just now? Some sort of secret defensive mechanism you put together when I wasn't looking? Yeah, pretty much. It's basically a kind of spirit origin grenade that uses extremely high performance dummy spirit origins to throw off enemy attacks. So basically it just redirected the lightning, kind of like how heat releases can trick heat-seeking missiles into hitting something else. Only just finished putting it together before we went to the Great Pit. It's a Stormborder's latest defense. I might not have been able to finish it in time for our showdown with Artemis, but it's designed to even defend against attacks from orbit. And as you just saw, it works brilliantly. None of that lightning is going to hit us directly. Oh. Well, nice job scattering it, Captain. No problem. I was already reaching for the console as soon as I heard the Z and Zeus. Ah, that's right. Our Stormborder's amazing. Hey, this is just the kind of dream ship I would have imagined Captain Neo and the Atlas Institute would come up with if they worked together. Not even Zeus's thunderbolts can touch us. See that, Zeus? This is what proper human history's major association can we do when we set our minds to it. Now, all that being said, would you mind if I brought up a different issue? I know we're managing to fight a brilliant mid-air battle at the moment, but technically this ship is still falling, correct? Heh. I knew it. Of course, we're technically falling. I'm doing my damnedest to slow our fall with the propulsion system and inertia controls, but I can't change the fact that this is a boat. Of course, it's not going to work right anywhere that's not in the sea, underwater, void space. Alright, you... I like smash. Get your seats and don't move a muscle. Keep an eye on the monitors. Look for any body of water we can use for emergency landings. Lake upon anything. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot that at the end. After going through Atlantis, it went to the pocket dimension that this is taking place in. Or rather, the true world that this takes place in, since Atlantis was absolutely just a defense to protect it. Dodging Zeus's thunderbolts won't do much good if we just end up being dashed to pieces on the ground. We need to keep up the storm border, and myself, and safe at any cost. True, every aspect of the new border is undoubtedly at the cutting edge, proper human history's technology. However, with the supreme being of a mythical system so advanced that they've futuristic technology like nanomachines for thousands of years really miss his first strike. Then again, what if... Captain Da Vinci, open the engine up full throttle. It's not safe to be up in the air like this. Nearby body of water or not, we need to land while the chaff is still working. There, target spot. Hit 4,000 meters below. We can use the trees to cushion our descent. Set inertia control to 7. Point the bow downward. Unfurl the zero sail by 80%. Got it. Land the controls. All you Marines, get to your posts now. Aye, man. We'll blast our way like a giant marlin. Keep scattering the spirit origin half as we descend, and once we're 1,000 meters from the target landing point, pitch the bow up. All hands, brace for impact. It's gonna be a bumpy landing. This G-force is intense. It feels like my gut's about to come clean off. Why are we going down this fast, Captain? I thought the spirit origin was keeping us safe. An elementary deduction, Gordolf. True, the Stormborder's new weaponry is a force to be reckoned with. However, take a look at the gale of thunderbolts and consider this. What if Zeus is still holding back, and this is just what he considers warning shots? Warning shots? You mean he has yet to actually try attacking us? Then we're all as good as dead. They might as well call me Phoenix, but that doesn't mean I can fly out of here. But don't worry, that at least means you can come back from when you're lightning bolted into ashes. Come on, everyone, hurry! We need to get out of this airspace as soon as possible. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Oh, damn, it's not use. I can't dodge every bolt. We're going to take a direct hit. We need to take the helm. Me? Senpai! Brace yourselves, everyone! Lostbelt number 5. The interstellar mountainous city, Olympus. Chapter, the day to bring down gods. What the? What? How odd. Oh, yeah, it's because it went past the, while I was reading that, it went past the reset. Unfortunately, it does require... Ah, here we are. Perfect, this is where I wanted to be. Gliding point. No battles. Oh, shit. I was supposed to emergency land a freaking battleship, but I've never done it before. Why am I the one taking the helm? The hell are you doing, Captain? All hands, make sure you're strapped in tight. Hey, we stopped. I'm alive, I think. Master, are you alright? I'm fine. What about you, Mash? I'm alright. I remained on standby in a half-sitting posture so I could be ready for the worst-case scenario, and I guess it worked out. Good. It looks like we stuck the emergency landing. Next, shut down magical reactors 1 through 3, and hurry. If Zeus notices the magical energy, he will come after us. Already done. Captain, would you mind taking care of the ship's camouflage? Don't worry, I'm on it. In fact, I'm already done. Since I disguised the ship right before we landed, the enemy shouldn't have seen where we wound up. Hurry up with the cloaking. They may not be able to see us, but they could still detect our magic energy. Aye, aye, sir. Alright, now that things have settled down, let's assess our current situation. After Zeus attacked the storm border, we made an emergency landing near the Olympus's western perimeter. By deploying optical camouflage, we were able to evade visual detection during the landing. We've also shut down the border's motive power, namely the magic reactors, surrounding the entire hull with a concealing bounded field, with a barrier to prevent the enemy from detecting its magical energy. This should mean we've successfully landed the ship in Olympus with the enemy none the wiser as to our location, at least theoretically. Okay, first off, great work everyone. You should all be proud we made it out of that without having to resort to a dangerous zero sail. After all, in the worst case, a zero sail taken without necessary precautions could wipe us all out. But really, the few times we managed to pull one off so far are basically miracles. Phew. Anyway, the important thing is I'm glad we're all okay. Just goes to show what an excellent machine the Stormboarder truly is. It can evade an omnipotent God's thunderbolts. It can dive into void space. If we brought it back to proper human history, it would be the greatest technological revolution of all time. That will never happen. The ship couldn't exist in a world where humanity's flourishing like it's supposed to. It's only in this completely beached world that my Nautilus no, Phantasm, Scion's pseudo-spiriton armor, aka the Hermes skin, Buster's nanomachines, and Chaldea's engineering could all come together like this. Basically, everything in the story so far is the reason why it's so amazing like it is. It couldn't be made without us having traveled to all those different timelines and taken all the different stuff from them. The only reason the Stormboarder exists at all is The only reason the Stormboarder exists at all is to defeat the foreign god. It wouldn't have a purpose beyond that. Oh, I see. That is true, isn't it? But it doesn't change that it's still a great dependable ship. Indeed, you're spot on there. I'm glad to see you understand. At any rate, we can't let everything we did in Atlantis be for nothing. And we certainly wouldn't be able to look the Atlanteans in the eye if we got ourselves shut down before we even landed the ship. We'll need to be ready to use all available resources. Have you finished replenishing your command spells? Yep, it's been more than 3 days since the last challenge quest where I used them all. All the precious backup command spells we saved up in case we need them for a huge battle, and we're just going to use them up like it's nothing. Can't believe I was actually able to replenish all 3. Well, I did say they were precious, so I can't exactly buy more. We can't exactly buy more refills from the command spell store. If we were only able to scrape these together in time by running the Wandering Seas magical reactors at full blast, pooling my technological and administrative advisor's expertise, and having Scion pull a few all-nighters, only time and luck will tell if we're able to make any more. I see, so we're really fortunate to be able to use them now. I suppose, at any rate, now that things have come to this, we'll have to use every resource at our disposal. After all, we still have a crucial mission we need to carry out. Right, we absolutely must cut down the Tree of Emptiness here in Olympus. Tell me, Technical Advisor, how safe do you think we are right now? That's a good question. From the scans surrounding area, I'd say we lucked out. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say only a 9 instead of 11. I'm guessing the area we're in is the outskirts of Olympus. There are almost no buildings here, there's no sign of natives, and I don't see a single soldier or defensive weapon anywhere. We can thank Munere for his choice of landing spot, since he was the one handling the controls on such short notice. I agree, I would have landed the ship myself, but I had my hands full coordinating with the Nemo series. Yeah, basically the way Nemo works is the staff of his ship are all clones of himself that he creates. So he can pilot the ship entirely by himself, but it does also limit him in some other ways. Great job, Munere. When we have a chance later, I'll give you a proper lesson on how to steer the ship. Well, hey, what can I say? It was pretty impressive, if I do say so myself, but still. I got a little panicked when you first asked me to take over, but I figured things would work out if I just did my usual game plan. Well, you made the right call. That's for sure. I can't really take the credit. The Stormboarder did all the hard work. I just kept it stable. Still, I'm glad I was able to help you out, Captain. You definitely did. I was planning to station a Marine in the cockpit, but now I won't have to. So, since I'll have one to spare now, I'll assign them the ship's cleaning duty instead. Good, keeping the ship clean at all times will be a great boost to morale. Oh crap, the Stormboarder has turned into Space Station 13. Well, not really. Actually, not even close. Well, maybe a bit close. The Fate universe is wacky enough to... certainly wacky enough. Well, Administrative Advisor, the bad news, I know well enough by now it can't be all good. Right, you are, Director. You're really getting the hang of this. Now that we've shut down all of our magical reactors, restarting them will take some time. Which means, of course, that we are effectively stuck here for the time being. That also means no zero sail either, so no leave... Yeah, the zero sail is what allows us to go... And the zero space is basically between the timelines, and there's zero sail as well allows us to go there, so... If we can't activate it, we can't leave this timeline, for any reason. At least they should have a hard time finding us here, right? Right, as long as we remain hidden, the odds of them detecting us should be low. Right, as long as we're unable to start up the ship's engine on a moment's notice, we'll be out at sea without a lifeboat if we're spotted again. If we end up taking several of those supercharged magical energy attacks head-on without even any of our defensive mechanisms shield us, well... I don't even want to think about it. Oh, Captain. Huh? Captain, why'd you collapse like that? Are you okay? I'm sorry. Looks like Zeus's great thunderbolts are more powerful than we thought. The one that hit us didn't damage the ship too badly, but it did damage the giant spirit core. Basically the heart of it. The heart of a servant. Oh no, does this mean the thunderbolts are actually anti-servant attacks? It's a good thing only one of us hit us. If even one more, we might have ended up losing the new ship. That's pathetic. I don't even have the strength to stand. Oh, damn it. Get Nemo Nurse near on the double. Make sure the captain's as comfortable as possible. Right. Does this mean you're injured as well, Da Vinci? Looks that way. I thought I was just feeling off thanks to all the magical energy I used for the chaff and concealing spell. But since I was acting as the Stormboarder's CPU when we got hit, I guess I actually got hurt just as much as the captain. I think I better rest for a while as well. But Da Vinci just collapsed on where she stood. Oh, I think the implication is that, yeah, he's there. Good, I caught her in time. Thanks for the nurse call. Is this an emergency? I'll say, thank you for coming, Nemo. It's Captain Da Vinci. The former collapsed and the latter's totally drained. Please hurry. Oh, Miss Munere, how are Da Vinci and Captain doing? They're both asleep now. Well, I say sleep, but it's more like what we did back in Scandinavia. They're in the recovery pods I used at the time. They might seem fine on the surface, but the spirit cores have suffered severe damage. It may take a few days, but don't worry, we expect them to both make full recoveries. To put it in a modern parlance, this will be no big deal. Well, that's a relief. I imagine the fact that there's a lot of magic energy even in the air is good, since servants are basically just really powerful familiars, and that means they can theoretically take the fuel that's in the air if they need to. Or at least hopefully. Yes, it is. It's too bad we can't visit them while they're in the pods, but I'm glad to hear they'll be okay. Quite so. Ideally, I'd prefer to wait for their full recovery before we begin our plan of attack in earnest, but indeed, we have neither the time nor the mental capacity to spare for that. Both the captain and the technical advisor fulfill their duties spectacularly. Yes, they may He uses for the time being, but no matter, the recovery takes priority. Meanwhile, those of us who remain have an obligation to make the most of this opportunity they've given us. Namely, make a move before we're found out, right? Exactly. By this point, I suppose there was no need for me to say anything after all, was there? Alright, as the new director of Chaldea, and the commander of the Storm Border, here are my official orders. Master Alex and Mash Carolite, his faithful servant. There is still much we don't know about our situation, but even so, I need you two to head out. While I'm afraid we won't be able to support you as normal with our technical advisor incapacitated, myself, Minuri, and our administrative advisor will do our best to fill her shoes in the meantime. Your sole objective for now is explore this Lostbelt, recruit the other proper human history servants. Right, they said something like, I think 12 had gone to Olympus while we were, shortly before we arrived at Atlantis. If we could find them alive, that'd be rather ideal. I guess this time we won't be at a complete disadvantage thanks to the vanguard that got here ahead of us. Unfortunately, I imagine we've lost some by now, but as long as there's some left, it won't be a complete wash. Once you find the heroic spirits that came here from Atlantis, the tide is sure to turn swiftly in our favor. We're going to defeat that detestable Curtia, cut down that preposterously huge tree of emptiness, and destroy that incredibly dangerous Zeus. You'll need to meet up with them first. Yes, sir. I like Gordolf. He's a good administrative person. Just what I like to hear. Now I can relax and enjoy my breakfast. I've just run a scan of our vicinity. I'm afraid the circumstances are very much not in our favor. Fortunately, we will be no more able to bolster our ranks via summoning circle here than we were at Atlantis. Every last lane kilometer is under intense observation. They are too man-made, or perhaps god-made, to be of use to us. Suffice to say, we won't be able to secure the magical energy necessary to summon and maintain new heroic spirits while here in Olympus. I'm afraid we'll have to be content with using the Spirit Origin Graph for temporary combat-only summons. So the briefcase then. Alright, not a problem. I was planning to save everything for the Castoria summons and the anniversary anyways, so my Saint Courts shall be safe as well. Oh. All the more reason you need to find the heroic spirits who came here ahead of us as soon as possible. With the forces we have, we won't be able to keep ourselves safe, let alone accomplish the mission. It would have made things a lot easier if we summoned more combat-ready heroic spirits from a ley line, but I guess that was too much to hope for, just like it was on Atlantis. Well, in the meantime, I don't know how much these will help, but here, these are for you two. Thanks, but what are they? The disguise kits. Well, it kind of missed a code that Da Vinci made secret based off the Atlanteans. Basically, they use magecraft to deceive onlookers, both optically and perceptually, giving you the same effect as wearing a disguise without actually having to put one on. Oh dang, you mean it's Bulma's disguise, his watch from Dragon Ball? Well, Dragon Ball Z technically, but Z and original Dragon Ball are all technically the same stuff. It's not till GT and Super that they are technically classified separately, I think. Alright, they should let you disguise yourself as residents of Olympus. And gather the information we need. Right. I know this is business as usual for you guys, but still, be careful. Alright, so our mission, go into town, speak with the NPCs, and learn everything we can about what's going on. Silver lining here is that your magical energy readings are the same as any other humans. Apparently, even Mash only has a tiny bit of servant aura about her right now. So hey, in that sense, this should make it a lot easier to sneak in than it would be if you were bringing servants along. And that's true. I just hope they won't question our briefcase. With these circumstances, the risk of a hostile servant noticing your senpai should be very low. So if all goes well, this should give us the chance we need to rendezvous with the heroic spirits who got here before us. But that being said, you still will be at a major disadvantage if you do end up in a fight. So don't lean on the disguise kits too heavily, okay? Alright, don't worry, I used to main spy in Team Fortress 2. I know that you can't rely on a disguise kit for any extended period. It's mostly just for glances and stuff. Because if anyone takes a closer look, there's just too many giveaways that you can't control that they'll cause them to know, yeah, something's not right. Then again, you're both old hands now with the race shifts and Lostbelts. I'm sure you already know that. Never hurts to be careful, no matter how experienced you are. A director? What is an administrative advisor? I have two suggestions I'd like you to hear. The first is that we send the combat environmental information we gathered to date to the Wandering Sea in a data packet. The second, well, I think discretion would be the best course for this one. Don't worry, I believe Gordolf is 100% trustworthy. What's this now? Careful, quite ticklish, you know. What was that? Are you serious? But that's surely... Director, do you remember the border guards that Odysseus kept under his command? Oh yeah, those guys were augmented, weren't they? I'm quite certain your concerns, while understandable, are nevertheless unwarranted. It's incredibly risky, but I can't deny that it also makes a lot of sense. Alright. As the director of Novum Chaldea, I can't have my subordinates be the only ones putting themselves in danger to restore proper history. Very well, I accept your proposal. Thank you. I had every confidence you would make the right decision. Oh, what are you guys talking about? I'm out of the loop here. I'm afraid the time is not yet right. Don't worry, you'll find out soon enough. Oh, I haven't heard you say that in a long time, Holmes. Ahaha. Hey, this is no laughing matter if you ask me. Sheesh. Alright, once again, Alex Mash Kyrelite. As director of Novum Chaldea, here are your orders. You two are to leave the border at once and make your way to the city of Olympus. Once you're inside, find out where the other proper human history servants are and meet up with them post-haste. After you've secured an adequate fighting force, you are to cut down the 5th tree of Emptiness. Roger that. Understood. We'll go to begin our Olympus investigation right now. Dang, things are already heating up pretty quickly. Alright. Give me just 1 moment while I'm here. I'm a very professional streamer, as you can see. Always make sure to respond to messages while I am streaming. Dang, I really like this. I must say, I really do like this music. This game has always had some pretty good music, but it feels like Atlantis and Olympus really took a whole new step upward. Interstellar Mountain City, Olympus. Looks like this is just story. I imagine this is going to take at least 3 parts, possibly even 4, because to my understanding, this is actually one of the longest chapters in the game so far. Directly beneath the 5th tree of Emptiness, Magellan. Interstellar Mountain City, Olympus. Great orbital shrine, Olympia, Dodona, the center of its operations. Ooh, looks like we're going to see some of the bad guys now. A revelation is upon us. Revelation is upon us. Now is the time of revelation. Gather round, O noble gods of Olympus. Interesting thing, Europa actually got released during the Atlantis chapter, but she only shows up as a quick cameo at the end as a hairbringer of what's about to happen here in Olympus. I'm not sure why they decided to do that, because that's caused her to be one of the most forgotten servants in the game. Even in the Japanese version, which is 2 years ahead of the... I think this is this the North American server or the global server? I forget which its official name is, but yeah. For some reason, they decided to give Europa an early release, but since that was before she has any story relevance, it was hard for people to really get attached to her. He has ruled the heavens since the dawn of time, emerging triumphant in no less than 4, Machia. By day he rules over clear blue skies, by night he conquers what lies beyond them. He's the wielder of the great thunderbolts, capable of shattering stars, galaxies, the very universe itself. Authorities, no less than Uranus and Cronus themselves, bow to his will. He is the great Demiurge, the one who wields the Cronus crown for all eternity. Now behold the words of the almighty Zeus. Is he going to come as a goose form again today? I trust all are here. Indeed they are, my lord. Ah. Rejoice, my fellow gods. Rejoice, gods from foreign lands. all the proceeding according to my will. The seeds I planted have grown brilliantly, disturbed neither by chill rain nor the merciless rays of the sun. The tree of Emptiness Magellan, no, Atlas, the world tree, is about to bloom. Glory to the mighty Zeus. Congratulations, Father. It's wonderful, Father. Congratulations. We must restore mythology to its rightful place. This Lostbelt's divine power must not remain relegated to Olympus. It must spread across the world, across every bit of this bleached white land. Humans were unable to save it. The task falls to us gods instead. I shall use all the power I wield to save this world in the place of the gods who left during proper human history. For it is far too soon to lose the intelligent human species that has taken root on this planet. Ah, the caster of Limbo. One of the few characters that still goes by his alias. I do know his true name, but I'm going to avoid saying it to avoid spoilers for anyone who cares about those. So I'll just refer to him as Limbo or Caster of Limbo, like the game does. This is all unfolding absolutely wonderfully. Even in my wildest dreams, I never imagined Atlas, the world tree, would grow so large so quickly. It even puts the Indians' Lostbelt tree, its explosive growth, to shame. This will undoubtedly be the land where our god, the foreign god, descends upon this world. Oh yes, of that I'm absolutely certain. Nothing could make we three alter egos who come here on behalf of the foreign god happier. It is unfortunate one of us could not be present this time, but no matter. You have my pledge. I will do everything in my power to help you grow the world tree to maturity and ensure the foreign god's descent proceeds undisturbed. Foreign god. Excuse me, it's always a foreign god this and foreign god that with you, Aphrodite. Are your ears working properly? Do you not hear what the mighty Zeus had to say? He's the one who's going to save this world. There's no place for your foreign god here. Now remember your place and hold your tongue, foreigner, lest you say something you'd regret. Demeter. I actually do like the gods' designs in this game, but I will say I think I'm a bit more partial to the ones from Hades. Then again, I think for a few of them, like Demeter in particular, it's hard to find ones that are especially well designed. Like, if you've seen Shin Megami Tensei's Demeter, she's actually one of the little girl designs. I'm thinking, wow, I mean, and no, that wasn't in a Persona game where she showed up, it was an actual mainline SMT game. Meanwhile, Hades was rocking the old badass granny, and I liked that aesthetic. It really, made her stand out even among the unique designs the gods in Hades had. Now, Aphrodite, there's no need to let anger mar your beautiful face. Besides, you do well not to underestimate those gods of the foreign lands, especially that monk there. Rumor has he single-handedly drove the ancient land of India into a hellish cycle of recreation. Be careful if I were you, lest he end up turning all of Olympus into Tartarus. Tartarus? Ridiculous. You wish to joke, Demeter. Save for an audience that might appreciate your brand of humor. As for you have some nerve speaking of a foreign god in our presence. How dare you speak of a god from an alien planet, knowing full well we descendants of chaos migrated here from across the galaxy as well? Who do you think you are? You know nothing of Zeus's power. You know nothing of what transpired 14,000 years ago at the moment our Lostbelts began. You have no idea how Zeus's thunderbolts utterly destroyed the foreign invader who came to kill all life on this planet. Huh. Yeah, that's actually a thing that did happen. Who do you think I am, you asked? I am me, of course. No more, no less. You insolent little... Wait, Aphrodite. A moment, please, O goddess of beauty. If I may, allow me to remind you that we are all equally invested in seeing the world tree to maturity. Lord Kashyria, the Cryptor, says that though our long-term goals may be different for now, cooperating is our mutual best interests. Wody may. Oh, what's this? My, is this truly happening? You, the goddess of beauty yourself, an arbiter of value for all humanity, deigning to take advice from mere humans. I never thought I'd see the day. That is enough. That's enough, Limbo. A joke is only funny when its audience is receptive. So I suggest you be more judicious about playing the jester while in the company of gods, especially given that same tendency led to your failure in India. You don't mince words, do you? I was merely trying to lighten the mood, but you're right, I did misjudge my audience. It seems my failure in India has affected me more than I realized. Oh, forgive me, gods of Greece. So... Aphrodite, goddess of beauty, Demeter, goddess of the land. All-powerful Zeus, Priestess Queen Europa, I hope you'll accept this humble apology. Limbo. Oh my, I seem to have lost my head. I do beg your pardon. Not at all, I'm the one who owes you an apology. Hope you'll forgive my momentary surprise, O gods of the foreign land. Limbo. Oh, don't be absurd, my illustrious Queen Europa. It was I am the one who wronged you. Oh. And silence all of you. I understand your anger, I understand your impatience, but stay your tongues. There are some facts we must accept no matter how humiliating they may be. Namely, the fact that without the Tree of Emptiness, none of us could exist. Our glorious Olympus's prosperity, we 12 Olympians' eternal reign, all depend on that Tree of Emptiness. This we must come to terms if we are to overcome the tree's hold on us. I was kind of expecting him to say, will you all just shut up and get... We have a job to do, or something like that. But I guess this is Zeus. Even if he's different from the proper human history one, he's still, you know... overcome the tree's hold. Does that mean you plan to cut down the Tree of Emptiness? As long as you grow the tree to full maturity, we have no... As long as you grow the tree to full maturity, we have no objections as to what you do with it afterwards. But still, the very idea of overcoming the tree's hold is... Are you truly capable of such a thing, mighty Zeus? Indeed, is it... Oh, it's a surprise indeed, not a yes indeed. Indeed, it is a task beyond even my all-encompassing power. Well, it's not all-encompassing now, is it? Which is why I formed an alliance with my sworn friend, Wodime the Cryptor. Zeus, need I remind you, he's only a human. Zeus, you would still call that human your sworn friend? Oh, silence. Wodime the Cryptor is no ordinary human. One could well liken the mammalian humans from proper human history to little more than sentient reeds, and indeed, Cryptor is sentient. But no mere reed could ever be that strong. True, he did cause the stars to align to cause a massive damage attack to us in Atlantis. So, this is the Machina Corridor of the Great Orbital Shrine Olympia Dodona, huh? Way too damn long if you ask me. How's a guy supposed to cross this thing and get where he's going on time? They just make a scale with the gods of Olympus something. At this rate, I'll die of old age before I get anywhere. Still on a different note, I can't believe he's just letting me walk around like this unsupervised. Wodime, I swear, I can't tell what that guy's thinking. I feel like an idiot for keeping my guard up constantly, thinking it was just a matter of time before he sends someone to finish me off. I just thought a crypt without a lost belt would be worthless, and he wouldn't have anywhere left to go, and no reason to be kept alive, really. I was sure he was just gonna take my Sirius light and be done with me. Was I wrong? I remember Directive Marsbury said, Sirius light is the power to overturn the very world. Possessing is what makes you a cryptor. We studied every abnormality that could possibly occur in the 7 ages. We trained for every scenario we might encounter in the simulator. Team A was supposed to save the world, and our Sirius lights were supposed to be our ultimate trump card. But it's strange. When we think about it, we were never actually told exactly what the Sirius light is. Sure, they told us they're even more powerful command spells, and they produce more magical energy than the user could generate on their own. But the only one of us that actually knows why and when to use them is Wodime. I think they are also aware that it will cost them their lives, because in the second Lost Belt, it was indeed used to sacrifice the user. After all, he was the one entrusted with our timing. So he should also be the only one who knows what how the Sirius lights are really meant to be used. So then, why hasn't he taken mine? Ever since we came back to life, Wodime has already said how the cryptors are all equal and the foreign gods are, but it never occurred to me that he might really mean it. Yeah, the cryptors were originally supposed to save the world, but during the accident at the start of the game, they all got... they were basically all killed, and the protagonist had to deal with the problem. Then afterward, the alien god brought them back and decided to use them to help fuel its plot to replace the main timeline with a pruned timeline, a deleted timeline. Does that mean he seriously believes that? Damn, what am I saying? There's no way he could. He's a noble. He's got to have an angle I'm just not seeing. Must be something only he knows. Something about the Sirius lights, the foreign god, the trees of emptiness, and why the Lost Belts can exist in the present day. Alright, Wodime, I'll find out what you're up to. Whatever it is you and Zeus are plotting, it's gonna be brought to light. If I'm gonna do that, I'm getting a distraction that really stands out. Oh, don't worry, I'm sure there's going to be one sooner or later. You know, I was thinking, I still haven't been punished for my failure with the Indian Lostbelt, right? So go ahead, punish me however you see fit, Bodime. Whatever it is, I can take it. I hope I have not given you cause to mistake me. We cryptors are colleagues and nothing more. I have no more authority to punish you than any of the others do. For the time being, Scandinavia, wrong. Let's just say let's just be glad that you're alright. Taking all this in stride, not that I expected anything less, of course. But I still wouldn't feel right getting off scot-free. Won't you at least take my serious light? Sure, I could probably save more face with the foreign god if I offered it to them instead, but I couldn't care less about getting in either the foreign god or the alter ego's good graces. So here, hun, you can have it. Make sure you make good use of it. Thank you, Pepe, but there's no reason for that. You can keep yours. The serious light has not been my responsibility since Team A ceased to be relevant. So, no, you should hang on to yours. What you do with it is entirely up to you. Let's see. So Ophelia didn't happen to die after using her. She died because she used her serious light. Okay, oh yeah. Would I be right in assuming that's what Marsberry had in mind when he put our team together? Not at liberty to answer that, huh? Pepe's actually been pretty on top of things. I mean, he is an enemy. Even outright says he refuses to join us because he feels obligated to help the other cryptors after being brought back to life with the rest of them, but... Well, actually... Oh no, they always use neutral terms when referring to Pepe. I'll try and remember that. If this was a YouTube video, I'd just go back and retake those lines, but now I get to embarrass myself in front of everyone. Isn't that fun? Oh, I get it. I'm starting to see a little more of what your relationship was really like. Despise me if you wish. You're probably right to do so, if you're completely honest. Despise you? Now you're just insulting me, Wodime. I think the fact that you're refusing to say anything just goes to show how much integrity you have. Up to this point, I still wasn't sure who was connected to what. But I think I'm finally starting to see how this pieces together. Never really sunk in before, but I guess we really are enemies of humanity after all. I have to say, Pepe, your sheer mental fortitude has never failed to surprise me. I'm amazed you can still smile like that under all these circumstances. Hey, it's the one thing I've got going for me, though in my case it's more despair than self-possession. But hey, the important thing is that I'm alive right now, and what it is I need to do next, right? I'd never get anywhere if I spent my time fretting about a past that I can't change. So I'm just going to tell you this in the hope that it might lead to an even more fun future. You know, the disciples are always telling us the foreign god wants the Lostbelts to flourish and the strongest one will become the foundation of the new humanity. Well, I'm positive they're lying. They're not planning on any Lostbelt surviving. While we've been hoping that one of the Lostbelts will become the next proper human history, they've got other plans entirely. And why do you think that? I heard it straight from the alter ego's mouth back when he was elated at the prospect of his seemingly assured victory. I swear I never would have guessed his fondness for hearing himself talk would actually work in our favor. Yeah, it's made explicitly clear that Castor of Limbo loves to monologue to himself even when there's no reason to. And that's not just for the player's sake, that's an actual character trait of his. And as I've mentioned, Pepe is actually a lot more astute than you'd think. So yeah. Haha, I see. So you got Limbo to talk. Then I won't be responsible for what you've learned, and it won't violate my contract with the foreign god. That being said, Mirorange, I can't say anything in response to what you've just told me. All I can tell you is that I'm prepared to establish this Lostbelt as the new proper human history, and that I have done everything I can to see that vision made reality. I will use everything at my disposal to ensure this Atlantic Lostbelt becomes the planet's future. In the meantime, I want you to carry out your duties as a member of Team A in whatever way you feel is best. Hey, you don't have to tell me. I was already planning to do whatever I wanted. Besides, I was never really into the whole King of the Earth competition thing anyway. Let me know if you ever need help with anything, alright? I'm not that much of an ingrate, you know. Not that much, huh? Of course I know that, Pepe. You've been of help to me more often than you realize. You always described yourself as a cold-blooded killer, but in fact you're always the most humane. He's honored your obligations more than any of us. The foreign priestess. Oh, unless I'm very much mistaken, there's a great deal of venom in your expression. Are you unhappy with what we just discussed? Pepperon Snow. came to his conclusions based on what the alter ego said. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what they referred to Pepe as, since it's been a while since Lostbelt 4. There's no need to eliminate him. Nor did I tell the other cryptors any of the foreign gods' secrets. So far as I can tell, there have been no breaches of contract here. Am I wrong? Everything is proceeding according to plan. The Tree of Emptiness is now a fully grown catalyst, ready to bring your true form down to this world. Zeus no doubt means to use this energy for his own ideals. For my part, I have no intention of getting in his way. I promised him I wouldn't, after all. We agreed that though our positions may be very different, Zeus and I would work together to ensure the Atlantic Lostbelt is fully completed. And I will not be going back on my word. Not after he trusted me enough to let me see him in a moment of weakness. Alright, so yeah, the foreign priestess is basically an avatar of the foreign god, but far from the correct amount of power. I'm well aware, if Zeus' plan comes to fruition, the Tree of Emptiness' magical energy will be depleted and the foreign god's descent will be delayed. Should that happen, I'll be considered in breach of contract and my life will be forfeit. But that's not going to happen, much as it pains me to say this as his friend. Zeus' ideals will never work, even if his plan is flawless. Once they fail, that is where I come into play. Don't worry, I will see that my job is done perfectly. I value my life as much as anyone, after all. It would be equally trivial for me to complete this Lostbelt and see Zeus' ideals realized, or to conclude this Lostbelt and let the foreign god descend upon this world. The only unknown factor that could possibly pose an obstacle to either of those outcomes is Chaldea, whatever course of action Alex chooses to pursue. I only hope that his spirit isn't yet broken. I'm counting on him to make it this way and once more throw himself to battle against me, so that I can conclusively demonstrate to him that his efforts were for naught. Yeah, back when we actually fought him in the Lostbelt, he was able to force planets into alignment to perform a giant attack, and that was, foreign, restricted, eh? Please set MASH as a starting member. First of all, I should make this, I should replace these with some actually useful craft essences since the event's over. I know I want the ones level 20 for this. Now where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Alright, here's MASH. Where's the other one? Here it is. I need a saber for this, so let's go with Lakshmi Bai. Yeah, Royal Brand should be good since we're going with a quick team here. Section 2, Lostbelt. Olympus's reaction, first half. Reception, first half. Looks like we're getting some actual fighting now. An hour in. It's been 2 hours since we left the storm border. Well, just one, but close enough. Our comms still aren't working well, so we can't get in touch with anyone. I doubt the bounded field disguises are generating is interfering with the signal, so it must be the magical energy in the atmosphere. I guess this means we'll need to head back to the border to tell everyone what we find out. Well, first step, gathering information. Right. I just hope we can meet up with the servants who got here before us quickly. There are no hostile entities nearby. I don't see any residents of Olympus either. But going off the topographical information I was able to glean right before we landed, we should soon arrive at the city's western perimeter. We have to be careful as we make our way there, Senpai. Oh, it's nice to see you in good spirits, foe. I don't think I've seen you this happy since Scandinavia. Is all the magical energy in the atmosphere? Let me double check the readings. The atmosphere's magical energy density is still on par with the Age of Gods from the 7th Singularity. I'm not seeing any abnormalities in your vitals either, Master. Everything's within normal parameters. How about you, Mash? You doing alright? Yes, I'm fine. The only difference is that my skin feels a little more sensitivity than usual. While we're here, why don't we check to make sure our disguises are working properly too? Activating disguise now. Everything looks fine. Oh! Ah, what is it, foe? Can't see your disguise myself, but I'm sure it looks great. Oh, thank you, Senpai, you're too kind. It does feel like the game pushes you towards the more flirtatious ones with MASH. I do like her as a character, but I'm not sure if you think her and the protagonist have that kind of work out with that kind of chemistry. Know what I mean? I guess it's hard to say. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about the disguises. We still don't know what Olympians look like, so I hope they'll be enough to let us bleed in. Oh, according to the instruction manual, these disguise kits reference current Atlantean fashion, simulate the kinds of clothes Atlanteans presumably wore before they were banished. Vinci must have figured an advanced civilization like Olympus would probably be the same today as it was several thousand years ago. So I suppose whether these disguises are effective or not depends on how accurate simulation is. I'm sure we'll be fine. That's true. Da Vinci's inventions have never let us down yet. Alright, let's keep going. Olympus's western perimeter should be just up ahead. Time to start a close encounter of the third kind with the local populace of Olympus in this fifth Lostbelt. Oh, Kyo! Oh dang, almost looks like an even more futuristic Tokyo. Okay, we've made it to the city. Actually, I think that is the asset it's using. It looks like very different from anything we've seen in other Lost Belts. Compared to, say, the Chinese Lost Belt, which developed along its own unique path. This one seems much more in line to what we could think of as a developed nation in proper human history. Yeah, it looks just like a modern-day city. It does, doesn't it? I got a glimpse from above all you here and making our way down here. I still can't believe they advanced this far. Oh. Sorry, I didn't realize I was spacing out. Anyways, the local residents don't seem to be paying us much attention, so it looks like the disguises are, in fact, working. As I thought, there's even more concentrated magical energy in the atmosphere here than there was at Atlantis, as much as there was in the Age of the Gods. Although... Yay, glorious Zeus, blessed be his name. Blessed be his name, blessed be. Glory to Zeus presiding over a sun in Apollo's stead. Sleep well, of course, thanks to Zeus for presiding over sleep and hypnosis stead. But you're doing well, praise be Demeter for keeping you safe. Oh yes, ambrosia was delicious again today. I just know it'll help me be even more beautiful. It's true, you're beautiful yesterday and you're beautiful too. I can feel Lady Aphrodite's protection surrounding me. I'll have to stop by one of the branch shrines later. Looks like the philosophers were debating something on the sidewalk. We're so fortunate to have them. Hey, wake up, Janice. You're going too fast. Wait up, Janice. You're going too fast. Raise the fountain. Hey, want to go to the Sacred Library with me? The Dean's Terminal is closing the university for the day to give a lecture there. Oh. Certainly seems like the local Olympians are all accustomed to the atmosphere. I suppose this means this is humanity from the Age of Gods. Still, all that being said, I'm amazed to see how much foot traffic there is here. Between the buildings and roads, it does seem like the most modern city, like a lost modern city from proper human history. What's more, everyone here seems so happy. They do, don't they? Yes. Foe. Don't worry, foe. It won't be a problem. We know we're on a mission. We won't forget where we're from or why we're here. To be fair, a lot of the previous Lost Belts also had people that seemed happy there, but it soon quickly turned out that there was a lot bubbling under the surface that was being hidden. Besides, we have an obligation to pay close attention to how people of the Lost Belt live their lives. Master, do you know any familiar words? Like Apollo and Demeter. Yes, exactly. Demeter, goddess of land, Aphrodite, goddess of beauty. I overheard a few others as well. I'm not sure if they're talking about the gods of mythology or it's other people that are named after them. They could also be talking about divine spirits, heroic spirits, mechanical gods like in Atlantis. Maybe there are actual non-divine spirit gods here, just like Zeus. Most will probably be our enemies, but maybe not all of them. I hope you're right. Now that Zeus himself has attacked us, it's only natural most of the others will follow in his lead. There should be others like Apollo who will be exceptions to the rule. Ooh. Let us know if you sense anything dangerous, right, foe? Ooh. Alright, Senpai, let's start gathering information. We should be able to learn what we need by making close contact with the local Olympians and talking with them. Hello. May mighty Zeus's protection be with you. Oh, hey there. May Zeus and Hera's protection be with you, too. I don't think I've seen you here before. Right, suppose you haven't. We've just gotten here from... Basically came from the edge of town, so I'm not used to hearing so many people. Really? I'm sure this was like everywhere in Olympus. Then again, I've only been to Shrine Town for a few times. It's not like I've seen everything the city has to offer. And hey, there's some less urban areas 10,000 years or so ago, so I guess it makes sense there's still some districts like that. What brings you here? You just move in something? Ah, nothing like that. Passing through on a trip. I don't know much about this area. I was hoping you might be able to fill me in. And anything you could tell us would really help. Oh, is he with you? Guessing you're married. You don't look like siblings. Oh, hello, cutie. Yes. Are you a Quirrell? A Chimera pup? Guess not. No, I won't pry. I think it's great you're traveling. I'll be glad to tell you what you want to know. This is the west side of the interstellar mountainous city of Olympus' 10th residential layer. Here, take a look. Ah, so it's built upon layers, like a lasagna. Doesn't the holy vessel ring Cronus crown look beautiful from this angle? This crown. See the great shrine inside up there? You'll never get such a great view of it over in the East District. That's the great orbital shrine, Olympia Dodona, the heavenly castle of our holy gods. Glory be to Zeus. And up there above the crystal mountains that provide us with the unlimited magical energy. Alright, so those are crystallized energy. Let's hope they aren't holding Bahamut or something inside. And that's Atlas, the world tree. It used to be called a tree of emptiness, but mighty Zeus gave it a new name. It's a miraculous tree made up of Zeus's glorious light, and it was a gift from some gods of a foreign land. You can see it real clearly here, right? When it blooms, we're gonna hold a huge festival right here in this district. Oh, festival? Well, sure. After all, that tree is what's keeping us alive after we were cut off from proper human history. Oh, so they all do know the truth of what happened here. Ah, I see. It's not every day we get travelers. The last ones were a young couple like you about 200 years ago. That's that say, you should be proud. There's nothing wrong at all with taking a path less traveled. I have absolute faith the gods support us, humans, in all of our vast diversity. Still, that being said, I don't have much I can teach you. Surely you've already learned about the crown the world tree, correct? Now, where you go, Olympus's endless bounty surrounds you. It's always been this way, especially over the last few thousand years, and always will be. So there's nowhere in all of Olympus you could be that aren't positively spoiled by riches. Look at all these glittering production towers. The ambrosia Lady Demeter bestows upon us on a daily basis. Things like hunger, illness, injury, pain are all relics of the distant past. Oh, what's that? That's right, 200 years ago. It was practically just the other day. Oh, my job. Hey, you travelers are funny. Jobs are things people used to have to do to earn money, right? I'm amazed you remember such an ancient concept. Are you a history buff something? Well, I think it's wonderful. There's something romantic about archaeology. It's such a shame the gods don't like to talk about things that happened more than 10,000 or so years ago, and that there aren't more records of the past. You must run into the same problems at every university and research organization. Me? Oh no, I don't go to university. I'm an artist. There's nothing that brings the gods more joy than the evolution of arts and culture. I guess they're going for the culture victory in their civilization runs. I don't know what we'd do without the gods. They watch over us, protect us. Ah, glory be to Zeus. Oh yes. In my case, I study under Educational Terminal number 3 at the nearby Art Academy. Well, me and about 500,000 other students. More? Yeah, I heard that used to be a thing. You can read all about it in government records, libraries, and university archives. Oh, is your district one of the ones that doesn't have any big governments? I'm amazed there's still places like that bereft of the god's glory. Sure, I can tell you what I know. A long time ago, there were 4 great wars called the Machia. The first was between Zeus's gods and Cronus's titans. The second was between Zeus's gods and the White Death. The third was between Zeus's gods and the Gigantes. And the fourth was... that exile that took place a few thousand years ago. Yeah, that's part of the Fourth Machia, a tragic civil war between the gods themselves. The followers of the gods who lost, the poor who did not accept the gods' protection, left Olympus and descended to Atlantis, though another theory states they left in search of a far-off homeland. Either way, it's all in the past. Humans have never waged war with one another, and they never will. Dang. That's great here. Every day's so much fun. I played all day yesterday. I'm gonna play all day too. Oh, what animal's that? A baby chimera? A lion? You say? Is there anything we're scared of, or anything that hurts us? No, I can't think of anything like that. Heck, can't even remember last time I heard words like pain and scary. Are you in pain? Are you scared of something? Know more about the gods? You can't be serious, it's a trick question. Side. Do you know about Lord Zeus? Oh, I see. I had no idea there were still areas within Olympus bereft of its glorious protection. Well, do tell where you're from later, okay? I'll let them know my regular prayer branch shine. I'm sure Lady Europa will take care of it once we bring this to her attention. You do know who Lady Europa is, right? Queen Europa is Lord Zeus's wife. She's a demigod who was assimilated with Lady Hera, so she's sure to hear your prayers. Really? Don't tell me you even know that. Well, branch shrines, the places where the gods will hear our voices. Those sound more like Shinto shrines than Greek shrines. Huh, how can they hear us better than anyone else? Oh, but don't worry, the gods watch over all of us equally. Glory, the ones who sit atop the great shrine in possession of the Cronus crown, Demeter Aphrodite, Lord and Lady Dioscuri, Queen Europa, mighty Zeus. Glory to our guests, the gods of the foreign lands, and Zeus's foreign friend, Wodime. So Wodime's name is public knowledge here. Kristeria, I guess that means... Kristeria. I guess that means everyone in Kristeria and Olympus knows who Kristeria is. You watch your tongue, you can't refer to a sworn friend without the title. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't mind so much myself, but you could end up on probation if one of the guards were to hear you. Oh, probation. You'd be thrown in jail. Why, this is worse than I thought. I can't imagine how developing Groom must be. There's a real fire probable complaint to the local government office about this. Just to be clear, no guard would ever do something as barbaric as that. Zeus decreed not a single drop of blood shall ever be spilled in Olympus. Oh dang, I selected jail thinking that'd be considered too light of a punishment. Still, one place that even uses language like that. This is beyond belief. I'm sorry. Reading his book, and I guess history books. Nice recovery, Mash. Thank you, I just wish I hadn't had to lie to her. Oh? Attention, my beloved Olympians. This is Queen Europa. I'm speaking to you from the great orbital shrine, Olympia Dodona. A revelation's upon us. A revelation is upon us. My. Oh. Oh. Quiet. Stand up stand up straight and pay attention. We haven't had an unscheduled public broadcast of the great shrine in hundreds of years. You're not the first person to mention something happened hundreds of years ago. Yes, of course I remember. Now hush, this divine revelation. Intruders on the outside have infiltrated. Be careful, my beloved citizens, for they're extremely dangerous. Lord Zeus has sent them here among you. There are two. These are from Chaldea, from proper human history. They're destroyers of the other world have destroyed 4 other Lostbelts. These arrogant malefactors believe themselves based on the world's true inhabitants. Believe themselves as world's true inhabitants look down their noses on Olympus. We cannot peacefully coexist with such beings just as ones who are permitted to use violence. You recognize one of these loathsome demons by the red marks on the right hand. You find them. Zeus's command is that you kill them. Red marks. Are you to them? Run for it, Mash. Darn it, I knew I should have brought foundation. Eek! Sway foe. Okay, note to self, put foundation on my hand to cover the command seal. Well, is you running off like that? Are they the Chaldea? It's the Chaldea. Chaldea. Inside. They're in our city. Somebody. You kill them. Hold it, this is as far as you go. We citizens have heard everything the Revelation told us. Oh, please let us through. You are from Chaldea. I've been killing every one of these Lostbelts, right? Now it's our turn? Well, technically it's because... well, technically it's as a them or us situation, but for some reason our characters aren't allowed to say that. We're not allowed to just say, well, it's basic survival. I have to say, it's hard to believe. I would expect you to look more evil or something. Look like a couple of sweet kids. We're just trying to get slower guard. I haven't done any combat training in a long time. I've never wished Lord Ares were still with us more than I do now. We have done away with concepts like jobs, labor, and professions. we do still have soldiers. I may only be a reserve guard, but that's enough to let me don the armor of the gods. Magical energy transformation. Can't believe a normal human's able to outburst so much magical energy. He must have been a magical girl the entire time. Almost like a servant's. We can distract him long enough to get away then. Right, I know. This battle, I'll consider the soldier a single servant class hostile. Initiating Ortonax combat mode. Setting output to max levels. I thought this would be an AoE, but Black Shield, so that's Kalia's weapon of choice. Very well then, see if your shield can withstand my divine steel. Ah. Well, I guess so when survival's on the line, any complications are going to be beyond the concepts here. Although interesting, they did away with jobs and such, but they keep soldiers around. Recover HP at the end of each turn. Oh, I have the wrong, I should have had Waver up front. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to... This is most likely just going to... I'm pretty confident this is a survive X number of turns battle. And I can tell you right now, there's no possible way this guy can kill Lakshmi Bai. She has too many survival options. Granted, it'd be nice if he actually attacked there. Alright, Mold Camelot. True name goes into play. That's no fantasy. Holds many positions. That's my call. Moldy Camelot is nowhere as good as the previous one, but if you use her in the story in the Lostbelt, it forces you to use this one. I know she does get an upgrade later, but I've seen it and I'm gonna be blunt, I don't think it's all that amazing. Well, that's just my opinion, I guess. Remove buff. Excellent. Wow, he really doesn't like MASH, does he? There we go, Break Bar obtained. Vow of the Great One. Yeah, you just don't do enough damage, you're not killing Lakshmi Bai. Of course, I should probably do, let's do it this way. And like I said, there's no possible way this guy can kill Lakshmi Bai, even if he takes out Mash and Scotty. Move attack buff. Excellent. Oh my, didn't realize that would have Pierce. Well, it doesn't matter. Oh, so this is looking like it's going to be a real fight, actually, where I do have to reduce his HP to nothing. Well, no problem. Doesn't need to be efficient, it just needs to work. critical miss. Alright, we're gonna give ourselves some protection here because I'm pretty sure Lakshmi Bai will be able to take him out before he gets his next ultimate or whatever the. Don't think it's technically an NP because I think it's technically not an NP because he's not a servant, but whatever. Yeah, have I mentioned he's not killing Lakshmi? This should finish him off. I don't have very many attack buffs, so it's not going to do nearly the damage it could, but all that matters is I win. And that's the power of a saber who actually has a saber sword. Pomegranates, eh? Oh. Really strong. And he said he was only a reserve guard. He who hasn't trained in a long time. He's not giving us a single chance to escape. And then there's his sheer magical energy levels. They're on par with a servant. No, they may be even higher. Master, the hostile is extremely powerful. He's usually several times stronger than the Atlantis border guards. His overall combat abilities are on par with the heroic spirit, maybe higher. I'll find some way to get past him. Stand back, Miss Carolite. Reinforcements? I was afraid of this based on what we know of the Atlantis border guards. I suspected the people of Olympus may each individually possess magical energy on par with heroic spirit. I swear, why is always the predictions you most want to be wrong that turn out to be spot on? Oh? Holmes, what are you doing here? Remember how the director was shouting right before you two left? That's because I just suggested him I accompany you. So you've been following us in your spirit form the whole time? Indeed I have. I had hoped that once my suspicions proved groundless, I could just return to the border and continue protecting Da Vinci Captain the Director. But now it seems my suspicions proved correct, and it seems that is no longer an option. Baritsu. Take him down together, Holmes. Follow my lead. Understood. Obviously, Sherlock Holmes isn't exactly the best fighter around, but he can certainly get a strategy around. He blocked it. Now he's going to counterattack, but I should be able to defend, especially now that Holmes is backing me up. I'm surprised at you. I never thought your attacks would be so soft. Maybe deep down you aren't cut out for fighting. We still from proper human history and Chaldea to boot, so I'll start by cutting off your arms. Use the defensive mystic code then. Oh, Holmes? Baritsu can be employed for defense as well as offense. At least it's a damn sight better than what happened in Scandinavia. Yeah, he lost an entire arm back there. Miss Carolite, run for it. And don't hold back, I'll find some way to hold him off. So you care for your allies? Then how? You can bring yourselves to destroy Lostbelts. I could answer that if you wish, but at any point in doing so, would you put away your sword if I had a good reason for it? No, I wouldn't. I've wasted enough time talking. I'm a soldier. All I need to do is tear apart the spirit origin of yours to shreds. I'd rather die insolent heroic spirit without so much of a drop of human blood. You know, they always have insist divine power makes someone stronger, but in terms of mechanics, there's actually quite a few abilities and attacks that increase damage against enemies marked as divine. So in terms of raw gameplay, it's actually better that Sherlock is not divine. But yeah. We will win this. Moving forward is the only option we have left. On a long, despondent journey like this, none of us can afford to look back. Mash, Alex, running, and don't look back. Be done prattling on, and die. Damn, you guys wasted no time kicking things into high gear. Couldn't you have been a little more elegant about it? That voice. This is the most preposterous of all Lostbelts. A city-state ruled by real, genuine gods, right? Don't you think you should be a little more dignified in how you go about bearing your fangs? Who are you? Hi, you wish to know who I am, soldier from the realm of the gods? I'm a wanderer who crosses worlds. I let the wind take me where it wished, and now in my death I have become a servant. If you want to know more about who I am, I'll gladly tell you. I'm a saber, sworn loyalty to the master there. I'm the sword fighter who's gonna cut you down with 2 drawn blades, 2 hidden blades, and 1 secret. With my Nintendo Ichiryu, I have achieved mastery over the void. My true name, Musashi no Kame Fujiwara. H5. Just call me Minamoto Musashi. Yeah, that was just too cooling for me. What's in here again? Oh, just a blaze of wisdom. Guess I forgot to grab that when I grabbed my stuff for the login. Olympus's reception, first half. Please set MASH as a starting party member, which I did. Alright, I'm gonna want to do this if I want to start with 2 NPs. Let's go with a Brave Chain from Lakshmi Bai first. She has command codes to remove his buffs, which is why I'm sticking with her and not swapping to a single target Saber. Although I guess I should be really using Saber Akosai for this. Well, it's not a big deal, I guess. Yeah, see, she's already taken... Yeah, I could have done more damage there if I had focused. If I brought Scotty instead, I probably could have done a bit more. Oh well. I definitely want waivers NP once I can. True name, frozen deployment. The kiss. Here we go. Well, at least the party's protected. I should be able to last at least a bit longer without... He's only healing 1,000. I can easily outdamage that. With a Brave Chain, in fact. Oh my. One thing I really wish FGO would update is give you the exact percentages. Is it here? It'd be nice, I think. Alright. Yeah, this Brave Chain should break his bar. There we go. Alright, we'll go with this then. We didn't get stunned, but this is at least... Oh, excellent. Mash. I'm gonna need you to take the blow here. This is unfortunate because we now know he does pierce, but I don't have a choice. Lakshmi Bai's Brave Chain should do a decent bit. Sword of the Divine Punishment. Yeah, pierce. Oh, she survived. Although she might not survive this. Oh, she did. Oh my. Well, that is interesting, isn't it? Since she's not going to survive this turn, let's just get her NP off to protect the rest of the party members and then have Waver charge his NP. This would probably already be over if I was using Saber Kosai, but I just really wanted to use Lakshmi. Exactly what I needed. This will finish him. Might as well do it this way, just for fun, I guess. Alright, this should finish him off. Move the attack buffs. Nice. Oh, well, I guess Scotty finished the job then. Wasn't expecting that, honestly, but I guess that's what happens with the rolls. I guess Lakshmi Bai must have gotten a low roll. Not a big deal. I'm losing? How? You're just ordinary human spirit, heroic spirits. Too bad. He outclasses me in sheer ability and training, but he knows nothing about real combat. Well, forgive me. Well done. I mean it. Will you tell me your names again, fans? Mayomoto Nisa. Mask Highlight. Demi-servant. Next, the last master. Olympus will never let you escape their lives. We'll... On that you have my word. Enemy hostile silenced. The battle is over. I wasn't planning to take his life directly. I'm sure you weren't. That's why I did it. Is there a problem with that? Well, no. Well, yes, but it's okay. Good. Now you know what we need to do next. Get away from here as fast as we can, right? Very good. Remember, you're in the heart of enemy territory right now, so get used to making calls like that. Sorry. Anyway, I'm glad you're okay. Did I manage to make in time for the start of the adventure? Sure did. Yeah, Musashi's been showing up for a number of the story chapters now. Well, she's a pretty important character in the overarching story. Long story short, she's from a timeline that was already deleted as a Lostbelt, and since she's not in there anymore, she has to keep traveling between worlds, because, like in the Futurama universe, the timeline tries to just remove anything that doesn't make sense, and since she's technically not supposed to be in any timeline other than her own, and her original one is gone now, it's just constantly trying to find ways to remove her. And as such, she has no choice but to keep wandering around, hence why she can into us on a regular basis. I have to pay you guys back for letting me stay there. Whenever Caldea's in danger, I'll be there to help. I have to pay you back for letting me stay there after all. Anyways, I know we have a lot to catch up on, but right now we should focus on getting out of here. Like I said, this is the heart of enemy territory, so we don't want to stick around. Know the way out of town, Mash? Yes, I do. I'll secure an escape right now. Good, I know you had a keen eye for this stuff. How about you, Mr. Detective? Can you stand? I can. It would seem the bleeding stopped as well. Thank you, Miss Miyamoto. I don't know what I've done if you hadn't come along. It would also seem you're more right than you know. Take a look. Multiple Olympian soldiers spotted. Guess there's no going back the way we came. Right. But I'm afraid all 3 major roads have been blockaded. I want to take the back alleys. They're nice and twisty, perfect for making a getaway. That would seem to make more sense than moving out in the open, but wouldn't our enemy be more familiar with the lay of the land than us? True, that's why we'll have to trust our luck when it comes to whether or not we'll run into anyone. They can't... If there's a lot of back alleyways, then it simply won't be possible for them to cover them all. We just have to try and find one that isn't as protected. If we do, we'll just have to cut them down and keep moving. Alright, let's get going. Right. I'm gonna stick with Lakshmi Bai if it's all the same to you. If most of the enemies are gonna be Lancers, I'll probably be getting a lot of use out of her. In some of the early Lostbelt, there's quite a few assassin foes, and for that I end up using Sieg a lot. That's what got me to like him so much. I made him 100. Large-scale Annihilator. Gift of Insight. As much as I want to use Lord Mold Camelot and Naidungi, however you pronounce it, I would be better off doing this to generate some stars. Here we go. I guess I could swap around and start using like Suzuka for some of them. I mean, I do have a lot of Grailed Sabers. Heck, I even have Jason in this party, although he's in the back as a last resort. Might as well make this 100%. Alright, here we go. Buster Chain. Here. I guess I should have used on the large scale Annihilator. I guess it doesn't matter too much though. Actually, this should finish it for me. Oh dang. That's a lot of damage. A lot of damage for basic attacks. Well, not really. More impressive given I haven't been buffing her like I should be. I'll just take it out with basic attacks. Here we are. Here. Ew, this is rough. I swear, everyone in Olympus is as strong as heroic. Is everyone in Olympus as strong as heroic spirit? Because it sure feels like it. I'm not detecting any magical energy readings. I think we managed to lose him for the time being. I'll use a talisman to put up a concealment boundary. It's not much, but should give you a moment to breathe. Great, Master. You ran the equivalent of a 1,500-mile dash at full speed. You shall take this chance, take deep breaths, and replenish your oxygen levels. Would it help sit down? Okay, don't forget to rest up yourself, though. I won't. So thank you. Right, thank you, foe. That's very considerate. I guess it wasn't just the first Olympian soldier who turned out to be incredibly strong. No, it wasn't. These people have been powered up to some unheard of degree. It feels like humans were brought up to heroic spirit level, somehow retaining their being human. They're not just physically strong, their mental toughness is off the charge too. They didn't even bat an eye to losing an arm. Yes, well, you can understand how they might be so fired up, as they say nowadays. They're fighting for the world as much as we're fighting for ours. No doubt they have their own loved ones they wish to protect here. It's little wonder they would put up such a tremendous fight. There was always a chance that we would need to fight our way through the local populace in previous Lostbelts. Now it would seem that possibilities become a reality. Meaning every person in this Lostbelt, that is, everyone who lives here in Olympus, should now be considered our enemy. Everyone in this Lostbelt. Zeus's revelation was extremely effective. From now on, we should consider the entire city to be on the lookout for us. Suffice to say, the Olympians are simultaneously innocent who depend on the Tree of Emptiness for their survival, and vicious enemies who will take any chance they can to end us. Yeah. That's exactly why we need to hold our heads up. Now we need to beat them or be strong. We need to hold our heads up, huh? He really does have his head screwed on straight. I didn't even have to break out a pep talk. Guess they've both seen a whole lot of worlds in this time between Russia and here. Alright, this really isn't the time to let our guard down and relax, is it? Besides, we don't know if these people can still hear us at the bounded field or not. Oh, they can't. Strong as they may be, the Olympian soldiers are still limited by human perception capabilities. The defensive systems seem to be able to sense magical energy, but given the sheer amount found in the atmosphere, the addition of a few servants should not draw any attention. So as long as we don't have, say, a divine spirit class fervent among our ranks, they don't try to find something similar to a god's own eyes, we should be safe. Oops. I bumped the mic at the right time, given the... Mr. Holmes? As I was saying, something similar to God's own eyes would be able to detect the bounded field itself. A god, in this case, referring to any being that surpasses our common understanding of magecraft and heroic spirits. In other words... foe? In other words, a god or being roughly on par with one should be totally out in the open. Would see us totally out in the open. Enormous magical reading is coming its way. It's on the other side of the alley. It was humanoid. It was definitely shaped like a human, but it was much too big to be one. It resembled nothing so much as a giant. The sound of metal scraping together pierced the air. Holy crap, it's, the Symbiotic Titan. Intruders detected. Initiating elimination. It was a bronze giant. Or it could be a Titan, a Symbiotic Titan. Another one of those shows that was killed way too soon. Fruit of Eternity. A Berserker, eh? This is going to be a single target foe, so I'm actually going to swap out Lakshmi Bai here. I do absolutely need a single target person here. But who? I only have so many. Ryder Kentucky's probably my safest bet. And I definitely want to bring the plug suit for this. Ryder Kentucky has carried me so much, it's a shame that new players can never get him. Fortunately, he's from an event that already had its rerun, like 3 or 4 years ago now? So yeah. Intruders detected. Initiating elimination. A bronze giant, according to myth, is a monster. Now I see. It must have incorporated legends to the islands of Rhodes, so the gods themselves must have minted this bronze giant. And now, in Olympus, they've no doubt deployed as an automatic defensive system for the purpose of eliminating intruders. Its magical energy reading is too high for my sensors to measure. Its output is on par with the divine spirit. And its magical energy type isn't like any other type of giant. Bronze giant, huh? Guess this means we really are in Greece. But it doesn't look like blades will be much use. Or that it'll let us go without a fight. Alex Mash? Now that's found us, we got no choice but to set its hard head packing. Alright, get ready, Mash. Raising or to next input. Engaging combat mode. All functions are fine-tuned and working properly. Spirit Origin Awakening is well within the standard perimeters. Here goes nothing. I fought and trained in all sorts of worlds. I've lost track of how many monsters I cut down. I'm sure I've never fought a Greek bronze giant before, but now's as good a time as any, see if I can cut through it. Now, how about you? Oh my, that's a big 3D model. Talos. Gift of Insight. Alright, we'll go with pure as much damage as I can possibly get out of this. Ow. Ow. What is this again? Recover HP when HP is 0, recover once and survive. Oh, lovely. I'm not sure if this is a scripted fight or not, but I'm just gonna go all out in case it is. Alright, let's get our defenses up. Protect ourselves. I guess thinking about it, I could have used Abigail, but I don't really... You don't really need a foreigner class in most cases. This should be perfectly fine. There we go. Oh, excellent. That was a lot of good damage. And lastly, we'll use Kentoki's battery here. If I can buy just one turn, that'd be huge. Oh, perfect. One turn, that's all I need, and this is over. This should theoretically... Actually, this set should kill him, but since he gets a guts effect, he should return, and I can finish him off then. Unless he heals back to full, then screw him. Overkill. Yep, that did it. No crit, darn it. But I have more than enough to win. Yep. We'll just finish him off with this. There we go. Excellent. We beat him. I guess it wasn't so tough after all. Darn it, guess Kentoki's going again. Hope he likes the wild ride. Musashi! Nice cover there, Mash. Okay, you handle defense. I'm going to go for an all-or-nothing full-power 5-strike combo on its arm. Amazing, she made a crack in its arm with a combo using the flat side of her sword. And actually managed to completely sever its right arm. The Bronze Giant's magical energy readings are fading rapidly. You can't cut him with one strike. Keep hitting him until you can. Split in half just like old man Yagu's stone lantern. I see, I'll have to remember that one. Oh. No problem, that's a piece of... something doesn't feel right. It's almost like the battle isn't still over. It's almost like the story chapter mentioned we'd be fighting a berserker enemy again. Mash, get ready for battle again. Understood. The giant's severed arm is reattaching itself? It's been completely restored, and the Bronze Giant's magical energy are raising back to unknown levels. Self-restoration mechanism. Well, I would be truly fascinated to learn more about how it works. Well, damn, that's exactly what I hate about fighting things that don't bleed. How are you guys holding up? Ready for round 2? I'm ready. How about you? I'm good to go. I'm still good to go. Now that's what I like to hear. Thanks for getting me fired up. Fortunately, there's no way we can take this thing down without attracting more soldiers, so let's find a way to do as fast as we can, whatever it takes to beat a hasty retreat. Oh, shut up. I wasn't talking to you. Alright, big guy, get ready. This time I'm taking your head clean off. I'd make a joke referencing the Talos principle, or Skyrim's Talos, but I unfortunately have not played any of those games. And yes, I know what the Talos are all referencing, but I wanted to make something relevant. I just couldn't. Alright, this should be good. We'll just do this again like before. Alright, what am I missing here? Learning ability, gain resistance against all attacks, increase defense. Okay, so yeah, this is clearly intended as a... Alright, so yeah, this is clearly intended as a survive the timer boss. Well, let's have some fun and try and damage anyway, shall we? I probably should have brought Abigail Williams since she actually resists berserkers, but oh well, too late now. Unfortunately, as much as I'd like another Rider Toki Brave Chain, he's not going to survive if I don't activate Mold Camelot's shields on him. Oh hey, that's actually some notable damage, given this guy's clearly not supposed to be beaten the old-fashioned way. Oh, and this is an upgrade now. This is a one-time nuke ability, but as you've noticed, Mash is much better as a tank and protector of the team, so I genuinely don't know what they were thinking when they designed this kit. I'm about to lose Kentoki and Scotty, but it shouldn't be too bad. Miyamoto Musashi. Let's see how well this works, I guess. Oh, that's a critical. Oh crap, he's Falcon punching me to death. Gandir level 9. Fortunately, even my level 100 Jason's not gonna be able to do too much. Why didn't I buff him for that? I guess it doesn't matter. Hey, I broke the first HP bar. Not bad. Now he's gonna obliterate me because Jason's dodge is only for one attack. Yeah. And that crit's gonna... Yeah, that crit is what makes me lose. Yeah, that made me lose. Yeah, those crits are what made me lose. There was no... Well, that's how the RNG is in this game sometimes. Alright. Where's Abby? Here's Abby. Hard defense. We absolutely require it. Oh, it's gonna go through all this again. Let's just skip. Alright, we'll go with an Abby Brave chain here. I don't use Abby too much since foreigners are really niche and berserkers take double damage from basically everything, so it usually doesn't matter. But as we can see, that's definitely going to be relevant here. Oh yeah, as you can see, her NP meter is going up ridiculously slow. She has 3 arts cards to charge it, but holy crap, does it take forever to get anywhere. Alright, moldy Camelot time. stance. I need to get off waivers NP yesterday. I need to prevent that meter from changing. No stun, a shame. Alright, decrease the attack, charge loss, attack down. I'm gonna use this with Musashi's to get hers. We're gonna get everyone's NP here. Let's see if we can't get this going for Musashi here. Oh, its defenses are gone. Guess this makes the best possible time to do this then.
まあいいだろう。待ってました。我が名に紐付けられし力。我が声に応えて門を開け。来たれ我が城。影の城。ゲートオブスカイ。目近に憤怒を持って勝利。
Overgage. do it this way.
マスター、任せて。
Buster Chain should do the trick here.
我が手に白金の鍵あり。虚無より現れ、その指先で触れたもん。我が父なる神よ。プリフォーナイトダメだから。なんの。
たらずか。
ここでこうだ当然だろここでこうだ当然だろまったく仕方のないおいおい
Alright, here we go. We're gonna have to go with the face cards for this. I don't think we're gonna win. It's no good. I can't win this then. I'm sure there's a way to optimize this. So make sure to go through. I don't have anything left whatsoever. Doesn't matter, I'll die to the burn damage even if he doesn't get to attack. You know what, let's just do this stupid thing. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to do this day by day like I did with the Amazon attack event.
俺で直す。いけない子だわ。安心しなさい。以前のようにはできませんが。
I know this is objectively a waste of command seals, but at this point I just want to get going. Besides, I can't be doing this in consecutive days anyway, so I have plenty of time for for them to naturally restart, for my command seals to naturally regenerate. Which is important because there is one fight in here that's actually hard. This one's not hard, I'm just lazy. Just gonna be honest, I'm completely lazy here. I could meme and just use it Saint Quartz even though I'm free to play, but I'm sorry, but we are way too close to Historia for that. Yeah, I know that's still a few months away, but I want to make sure I have the best possible chance of getting at least one copy. She's just too important to my strategies going forward.
よし罠だ
An Abbey Brave chain should finish it. Doesn't matter that it's not a very efficient one. This is gonna be a farming. Looks like. Should be fine. Tamacat should have more than enough damage here. Or any multiple targets. That did it. The bronze giant has fallen silent. Its magical energies Reading has disappeared. We did it. We beat it. Good work, everyone. I'm sorry you have such a lazy master. Well, we need to move at top speed. Mash, you care. Right. Oh, we can... So, what about you, Detective Guy? Need a shoulder? Thank you, but it's quite alright. I'm perfectly capable of running on my own. Spare me the manly mandible. There's no way you can run with that beat-up spirit core. Oh. It's your injury from Scandinavia, isn't it? I remember hearing you hadn't completely recovered, but I would never have thought the spirit core was still damaged. What were you thinking, fighting that condition? Your entire body could have fallen apart. I suppose I should have known I couldn't pull the wool over your heavenly eye, Miss Musashi. Indeed, you've got me dead to rights. I didn't want Mash and Alex to be the only ones risking their lives. I'm afraid I took some rather foolish risks. Forgive me, I would be grateful for the assistance. Much better. Let's move on. Right. We come out on a major road. Good, that's what I was going for, and it looks like there's no Olympians nearby. I guess they must be hiding, thanks to the oh-so-scary Chaldeas have come to town. I was a little panicked when they made the broadcast earlier, but if it got all the civilians off the road, they did us a huge favor. Now we just gotta get out of here before more soldiers. Musashi, I'm pretty sure no one says abscond anymore. You're kidding! I mean, that isn't modern-day slang. Wait, stop. Oh no. Musashi? Something's headed our way. Here I am, picking up an incalculably massive energy reading right in front of us. Is that... Another one. So target spotted, resuming battle. Targets respotted, resuming battle. Are you freaking kidding me? Somebody I hit rerun when I wasn't looking. I could swear I cut its power core in half. I feel like an idiot for ever thinking it looked anywhere near as big and sturdy as the Wisdom King. Things end when they end. When it's time to die, it's time to die. I'm okay with that. The intangible may last forever, but that's all that is corporal must one day end. Master, I realize we've seen this sort of instantaneous regeneration before. The Demeter Cult me. Right. The various nanomachines we frequently saw in Atlantis. Of course, such technology would have its origins in Olympus. Right you are. Behold, the people proper of human history. This is Demeter's authority. The Clearome. Reinforcements, and no ordinary ones by the looks of it. Those definitely aren't soldiers. This magical energy is intense. Now that I'm a servant, I can tell these beings easily surpass even that bronze idol. See, so these are Lostbelt's divine spirits. Servants, no. Spirits, no. Proper gods. Stay where you are. Do not bother trying to resist. My Talos is protected by Olympus itself. No mere humans can defeat it. Oh, I'm surprised to see you deign to speak to them, Queen Europa. Don't be rude, big brother. Remember, Queen Europa is assimilated with Lady Hera. That thing is no longer human, but a demigod. You mustn't glare at it like that. It may have a god inside now, Pollux, but still human. That makes her no different from that failure Canis. Oh, big brother. Foe. It's Dioscuri, the twins, Gemini twins. Master, those are divine spirits we encountered back in Atlantis. Did you look at me, human? Did you point at me and speak my name? Dare you? Not so fast. Musashi. Don't worry, I'm totally fine. Just make sure Mash is okay, alright? Why, you... Oh, was that rude of me? I'm sorry, I was just so surprised at how light your pitiful little god sword was. If I had known better, I thought I was batting away a feather pillow. Yeah, right, I don't know how I'd even begin fighting against swordplay like that. How the hell was this strike that strong or fast? That blade is practically moving at light speed. Maybe it actually was light or something. The hell, not even a bona fide sword saint can manage that strike. Darn it, even Ishun couldn't keep up with that. Thank goodness for Holmes and his quick thinking. He must have figured something like this would happen when he cast that support. Yeah, Holmes is definitely good at support. And Mash's head would be lying on the ground about now. Please stay your blade, Castor. Are you speaking to me in your capacity as queen? Big brother. I won't forget the insolent face of yours, human. I'll kill you myself when the time comes. Oh my, whatever will I do? You do realize you're gonna have to get in line, because you're like the 6th person to swear. her on your life that you will destroy Musashi. At this point, there's an entire queue you have to go through. Welcome back, big brother. Thank you, little sister. Wonderful obeying the queen's orders. I knew you could do it. Stop praising me, not in front of the humans. Oh. Well, if I could talk down one, I could talk down the other. Whatever do you think they're doing, Aphrodite? Can't believe you already started. Don't you know your behavior reflects poorly on us as well? Perhaps you need a refresher on what it means to be a god, Pollux. Is that a cigarette? In her fingers? That is most definitely done to try and make her more attractive. Not a fan personally, but I get why some might prefer it. Then again, maybe she should have one of those Japanese long pipes that noble women use. That would be completely off point. But then again, is it any worse than Aphrodite having a freaking cigarette? You did get a new infusion of father's blood, didn't you? What are you trying to say? Oh, Demeter doesn't look too bad ahead. Oh, nothing. She's not trying to say anything. Come now, Aphrodite. You should know better than that. Whatever happened in the past, the Dioscuri are now a beloved part of our beloved family. Let's try to be a little kinder, okay? As a refresher, in Hades, basically all the other gods are get the piss scared out of them by Demeter, except for Zeus, who is either that confident, that foolhardy, or possibly both. But granted, it could both. I mean, for as much as everyone rightfully memes on Zeus for all causing problems on purpose, he does have some legitimate badass moments to him. I mean, he was front lines fighting against the Titans. After all, that was absolutely not an easy feat. This magical energy is overwhelming. Master, in my estimation, these two women are likely also gods in this Lostbelt. So up against two divine spirits, three gods, a bronze giant forged by yet another god. At this point, it seems like they all have more than enough power to wipe us out quite handily. Suffice to say, these foes are far more deadly than any of the Olympian soldiers. Now then, what are we going to do? Foe. Over here, foe. It's too dangerous for you to stay on my shoulder. Well, aren't you forgetting anything? Oh, really? You don't know? Do you realize you're in the presence of gods now, right? Didn't you meet any others in Scandinavia and Lostbelts? I'm telling you to bow your heads. Dang, she used her powers to make everyone high. There's no way we can fight like this. My brain, I can hear directly my brain. Is she attacking our minds? Do something, Holmes? Naturally, I've been using our mental protection talismans, but they aren't working. This must be Aphrodite's authority. Of course, her love potion. She makes people high. That's how she gets them to do things they will regret later. Everyone. There, that's better. Fireheads, humans, know your place. Kneel before gods. Do not forget this is Olympus. A place where gods reign supreme. Note that I didn't click there, tap there, or technically tap there, but it's functionally the same as clicking, right? Yeah, Europa kind of interrupted her, it seems. I think that is enough, Aphrodite. For revelations upon us, their sentence is at hand. Gods, humans, all is gathered, open your ears. The almighty one's about to speak. Zeus, our mighty ruler, the heavens incarnate. I'll await your presence. Please speak with us. Sky. This means I am the heavens. I am lightning. I am the supreme ruler. I am Zeus, the Almighty. Those of you now bow your heads. Those of you who have not forgotten your place, reach for the gods. Remember, humans must never defy gods. Humans must never commit sin. Otherwise, you will all be turned to gold, humans. Foolish reeds would prolong the great sin that is proper human history. All of you must die. Ahaha, you're getting my hopes up, father. Indeed, you said it, big brother. Make it quick. Oh my, I was hoping to at least have them whine first. Zeus has made a decision, do not let them suffer. Make their deaths quick and painless, Dioscuri. Hear that, big brother? We have permission now. At last, you can indulge your favorite pastime, killing humans. It's usually forbidden. This is your chance to really enjoy yourself. Oh yes, if I'm gonna kill them, I'll be able to show you the full extent of my wrath. Master, managed to activate the emergency mode. Output 60%. Spirit origin stabilized. Our opponents are one divine spirit, one hostile giant. God damn it, damn it, damn it. These are the meanest gods I've ever met. They wouldn't even wait until the damn headache wears off before attacking. That's how it's gonna be. It's fine with us, right? Our opponents mean business, and they're more powerful than anything we faced. What do? Hey, you need to ask. We fight. You got it. One god destroyer coming up. When we're done, they won't know what hit them. Well, balls.
つまり途中だな。他にやることないの？こういうのどうだ？つまり途中だな。他にやることないの
？Oh, it only hits my front row. Interesting. If I get enough different damage types, I might actually be able to do this. I don't know if this is a scripted loss or whatever, but I'm going all... I already used my command seals, so that'll give us some good tension, right? There we are. I want to do this because I want her maximum amount of I want some overcharge for Tamakat's ability. It heals her after all, so she can actually survive in battles for a while despite being a berserker. Alright, here we go. I hope this is enough. But if that's something like a minus 100 attack power, I have no way of...
Good morning.
That was not good enough, darn it. Need to do it this way. Oh right, MASH doesn't get bonus damage against Zerks. You'd think I'd remember that after all these years. Wow, I suck. I would ideally prefer it if I could take out their first break bars first. No, I'm gonna do precisely that. These aren't too bad though, I think I should be able to beat them. Body heating up. Switching to a deck stance. It's fine, Scotty did everything I needed. This might not actually work as well as I'm hoping. If I don't have a choice.
Good morning.
罠だ。罠だ。
特別です。
Twine twin gods. That's a crit. do this? I'm not sure I can, but it's worth a try.
Ah,
了解の任せて
計略だ。
生突だ
Okay, good. She got healed before that hit her. Conquering the sea with friends.
まったく仕方のない。
Only one debuff removed, eh? He's on yourself, because we're gonna need to keep as many people here alive as we can.
このおいおい。
This is not gonna end well, I don't think.
悪い。代打。
I cord.
神格接続
Oh crap, they have ignore invincible, so Musashi's dead a bit. Okay, good. They hit the one person who I didn't mind losing.
だから。
Stun them for the turn, and I can kill this guy.
任
Let's
せて
go.
なん
You should be able to win with just the face cards. Yep, we got him. Oh, come on. I forgot about that. Let's withdraw. Alright, I guess I need a proper archer for this. I don't have very many that are actually all that good, however. So I need to be careful. Sheesh. Huh. I guess given Atlantis was actually really easy, I guess they figured, okay, you guys had your fun, now it's time for you to get completely obliterated by Olympus. But I can do this. I've definitely got what it takes. Senti Nightingale. This might actually be perfect. And at least these are actually challenging. During Lostbelt 3 and 4, I occasionally had to go a boss fight against someone. They said, oh, these guys are so hard, but then I ended up nuking them so hard that I beat them early, but then it said, oh no, we have to retreat.
中だな。他にやることな。こういうのどうだ。
You know what, I think I have a better idea, actually. Because, remember, we found out that the debuff only applies to the front row servants. Wait, what do you mean data updated? It's not the daily reset was a couple hours ago. What? Wow, that's an obnoxious red. I need to restart the app completely. What is with all these updates? I guess they must be doing some bug fixes. They're usually pretty good at avoiding those, but sometimes it happens. There's just not much you can do about it. can just use bronze fruits for here. Now remember, we found out that it is only... Actually, yeah. It is only the front row that is hit by the debuff. I can actually swap in MASH if I do this. Swap out MASH if I do this for the other two supports. Then I can... should be able to do that to help prevent. Yes, that should work. But the Talos basically has 3 life bars, which is rather annoying.
アーマードマッシュ行きます。内熱衝撃板装填します。
Now let's see if my master plan worked. It did! Florence Nightingale's Santa is completely fresh, free of debuffs.
こういうのどうだ？
And you see, thanks to Scotty, she now has all 3 types of debuffs. And buffs in this game are added multiplicatively instead of additively, which means I can get quite a big boost if I play my cards right. Party time!
毒あるものを拭い去り、害あるものを打ち砕く。アサルトメグス、フルバーストパーティー。
Please tell me there's an overgauge. Oh, one of them broke. And the other one's about to break as well. Excellent. The entwined twin gods. Body heating up. Setting aim. Come on, go after. Gift of Insight revised.
中だな。他にやることないの？
こういうこともできる。
This should do the trick. Oh, good. We're about to kill Discorio. Alright. Oh, excellent. Great work, Nightingale. You took it out. Alright, remove 1 buff for all enemies, remove 1 debuff for all allies, and restore everyone's health a little. She's still a nurse, she can still do a lot to help. Here we go. Alright, if I can get another Brave Chain, Archer Brave Chain from Nightingale, it's over. There we go. Guts activated. Nightingale herself has guts, so I'm not worried. This should be good. Alright, first of all, we're gonna get protection. If this isn't enough, though, I may just restart the app. Allow me to open the gates. Yep, we win. Huh. There we are. I hear cheers. Cheers to love that echo around us. They demand the intruders be punished, the wicked Chaldeans be obliterated. Women and men, young and old, are shouting, united with a single wish. Chaldea. Now, this is the first time the Lostbelt has realized they have to stop us in order to exist. Looks like Aphrodite, Demeter, and Europa aren't joining in the fight, just to maintain their dignified image in front of the human audience. The goddesses clearly aren't about to start working together anytime soon. I guess this means they have their own special way they prefer to win. Which that just leaves the giant and the unhinged divine spirit to worry about. I could probably take out one if I wasn't worried about making out of this alive, but not both. Ordinarily, I wouldn't mind sacrificing myself to take them down, but that doesn't seem like an option here. This must just be how Lord Inshun felt back then. How ironic that this took a situation like me for me to realize it. Alex, looks like we're all out of options. I'll hold them back. I'm not running away unless you're coming with us. God damn, why'd you have to say that? I understand this may not be convincing, seeing as how I just tried to do the same very thing. That would not be the best course of action. No, I believe this is where I come in. I have experience with finding ways out of desperate odds, you see. Wait, really? You got some kind of, a trick up your sleeve? What are you waiting for? Odds don't get much more desperate than this. I'm not the sort of solution I employ with any frequency, especially when there's so many unknown variables. Alright. What was that? I don't like the look of those dark clouds. I feel very... Oh! Oh, please get back in storage. It's not safe now. Gods in heavens, I see. Apparently he doesn't care for my little trump card. Alex, Mash, I suggest you focus on your battle with Dioscuri and the Bronze Giant. And one more thing, keep your distance from me. Holmes? You told your own fortune, Sage of Calais. Hardly, Your Majesty. This is but an elementary deduction. Master, the lightning bolt just struck Holmes. Holmes, foe! That's certainly one way to get my attention. Thunderbolt, Zeus mystery. Now I see. Holmes. It seems I'm still alive, but I'm afraid I won't last much longer. What do you think you're doing? Didn't you see that thunderbolt? Don't you see how ridiculously huge it was? You could at least act surprised. Why should I be surprised? Every bolt that falls in the heavens is but one of Zeus's blades. What's the matter? Is one of you getting a little singed all it takes to take the fight out of you? A bit singed. Father's real thunderbolts completely disintegrate whatever they touch. If you truly wanted to be rid of your friends or that ship, both would already be gone. Now do you understand the only thunderbolts of his you've seen so far are essentially him flexing his little finger. If the thunderbolts of his you've seen were rain, this would be no more than a faint drizzle. Kneel before us, those are proper human. Tremble in fear. Hear that, big brother? Talus agrees with us. Indeed he does, little sister. Okay, so they're trying to do the whole creepy twins angle. I don't know, I kind of prefer when Android 17 to 18 did that. Come, Talus, and let us end these lives together. Then we'll find where their giving machine is hidden and kill everyone aboard. Master, get behind me. Oh. Oh. Wait, what? Ah, where'd that accursed dissonance come from? Oh my, this isn't good at all. This undulating magical energy, I think it's interfering directly. What is this unpleasant sensation? Oh, damn it, someone's messing with our God-made ley line network. Seems matters have taken an unexpected turn. Gee, thanks to the news flash. Now hurry up and figure those people are hiding already. Big brother, somebody's firing magical energy blast at us at 6 o'clock. Gee, you think... Stay calm, little sister. Just keep your magical energy focused on defense and we'll weather this attack just fine. This way, before the cannon's magical energy runs out. Yes, hurry. Can you hear us, Chaldeans? Then run for it. We'll keep the gods busy. Who are... Save your questions for later. It's the Hooded Man. It's Cain from Final Fantasy IV: The After Years. Oh dang, I'd rather not reference After Years. I'm not a fan, to say the least. Come with me if you want to live. It won't be long before the Royal Guard shows up. And I'm sure you don't want to fight those insanely powerful gods and they're also insanely powerful soldiers at the same time, right? Right. Ash, Alex, these people are offering us a way out. I'm pretty sure we should take it. Don't worry, I'll carry the pretty boy detective. He might be burned pretty badly, but he is still alive. Let's go with them, at least for now. We kind of are between a rock and a hard place. Even if they are planning to turn on us, we don't really have any better odds by sticking around. Alright, Minerva, one last blast for good measure. Why you disrupt our ley line network? Why you? You dare interfere with my brother's killing of humans? This tragedy will not stand, you'll never get away, I'll kill you myself, I'll tear you limb from limb, sapphire innards, I'll never sheath my sword until I bathe in your screams of agony. Rah! You'll pay for this, you'll all pay. Olympus's reception, second half. I'll do this last one and then we'll call the stream. I figured most of this would be the exposition as we get started. It'll move a lot quicker a bit later on, but like I said, this is one of the longer chapters if I remember right. What is this place? So hopefully it'll be a fun ride. Feels like I'm walking forever, so if I'm not mistaken, we're basically underneath Olympus now, right? I am told this is the underworld. Huh? Though that is not to say this is the land of the dead. This is the foundation of Olympus, its underground infrastructure. Once it was the domain of Hades, god of the underworld. It is safe here, Zeus cannot find you, which is why we were using this place themselves. Why they were using the place themselves. Is this some kind of headquarters? I would surmise a secret base used by those who led the revolt against used by those who rose in revolt against the gods of Olympus. Nope, you keep leaning on me, pretty boy. You're still in no shape to walk around on your own. Thank you, but I'm alright now. I appreciate your help, Miss Mimoto. So, most benevolent savior, are my suspicions correct? Don't call me that, it's absurd. I just happen to be passing by. I don't recall saving anyone's life, and I don't have plans to any time soon either. I'll just happen to be walking behind me when I came here. I didn't go up there to help you, I just made a bad decision. Oh, well, thank you. Stop being grateful, I mean it, I don't like it. Don't make me tell you again. Anyways, I wasn't planning any of this, but what's done is done. You lot can use this place if you want, or not, I don't care either way. I'm not getting involved. If you want to know more, you can ask those two who are firing the cannons when they show up. Toot. Alright. I'll do one more thing. Play the message of those servants left. Good day, everyone. That voice sounds familiar. Testing, is the mic working? Ah, is this being recorded? Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. What is it, lady? Is the recording successfully? Thank you, alright from the top. Hey, it's Nikola Tesla. I am Nikola Tesla. I'm one of the heroic spirits from proper human history that made their way to Olympus from Atlantis. By the time of this recording, the rest of us will most likely have lost our transient bodies. Bluntly, we're all dead. We'll have been annihilated. Yes, that's right. By the time you hear this, every heroic spirit who made Olympus will have vanished. Well, that's disappointing. Dang, all those servants. I hope you don't mind that I started off with such bad news. It's just that leading with the bad would make the good news that follows it sound a lot better. Yeah, I guess sometimes it's nice to just get it out of the way. What is it, lady? Should we start the recording over? No, let's keep it going. Let's start by introducing myself more properly. Second thought, you truly want to start over? That's how I feel strongly about it. Okay, everyone, we're doing audio and video this time. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. The God Destroyer Alliance. We'll defeat the gods. Overcome all odds. Revolt against the shitty destiny. And strive for a better future. We are the forces that have gathered from across Atlantis and Olympus, from two sides of the Lostbelt. We are the God Destroyer army that is sworn to defeat the abominable clockwork gods that ruling this world. Dang, that's quite the revelation and quite the introduction. But it's been a good while. 2 hours, 45 minutes? I think that's a good time to call it here for now. I'm definitely going to be taking this a bit slow like I'll be taking in others. I might go back to Elden Ring next, or I might try a new game. But either way, I'll be getting back to this soon. And you can bet that I'll be trying to make... I'll be doing really interesting... I'll try to make things interesting, or worst case scenario, I'll be extremely lazy and just command seal everything like an idiot. Either way, I hope you'll have a fun time joining me. Yeah, but until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.